Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the first news on 11th March newspaper front page dawn. NCOC reimposes restrictions as COVID cases surge. 2-week spring break announced in educational institutions of 10 cities. Final exams to go ahead as per schedule. 1,786 cases, 43 deaths reported in a single day. Study claims 15 million people in Pakistan infected. By Ikram Junaidi. Islamabad, with no let-up in COVID-19 cases, the National Command and Operation Center, NCOC, on Wednesday reimposed a number of restrictions that had been in force in the country prior to February 24. The center announced a 2-week spring vacation in educational institutions in 10 cities, whereas Balochistan and Sindh were suggested to limit attendance to 50%. It decided to continue smart lockdowns and micro-smart lockdowns and reinforce the 50% work from home policy and time limit of 10 p.m. On all commercial activities with immediate effect. Amusement parks will be closed at 6 p.m. and strict compliance of standard operating procedures (SOPs) will continue across the board. On the other hand, COVID-19 vaccination for senior citizens started across the country. The NCOC had eased restrictions on commercial activities and official work on February 24 after a declining trend in coronavirus cases was observed. Under the directives, time limit on businesses had been lifted and condition of 50% attendance at workplace removed. Schools were asked to function 5 days a week, and permission to hold indoor wedding ceremonies and opening of cinemas and shrines was granted with effect from March 15. Decision to allow indoor dining depended on the outcome of a review meeting that was scheduled for March 10. The Election Commission of Pakistan was given a go-ahead to hold local bodies and cantonment board elections by the end of May or early June. The NCOC session was presided over by Minister for Planning and Development, Asad Umar, on Wednesday, which reviewed the non-pharmaceutical intervention NPIs already issued and valid till March 15. Later, at a joint press conference, Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Health, Dr. Faisal Sultan, and Education Minister Shafkat Mahmood said a number of relaxations had been withdrawn. Mr. Mahmood said the meeting discussed the prevailing pandemic situation in the country. It was decided that in Sindh and Balochistan, the situation was better due to which 50% students will be allowed to attend schools per day. In the 10 cities of Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Azad Kashmir, and Islamabad, spring vacations will start from March 15, and educational institutions will remain closed for 2 weeks until March 28 in view of the rising COVID-19 cases, he said. The minister said the cities where new directives would be applicable but Faisalabad, Gujranwala, Lahore, Gujarat, Multan, Rawalpindi, Sialkot, Islamabad, Muzaffarabad, and Peshawar. However, he said final examinations, which were underway or expected to take place later this month, including those of O and A levels, would go ahead as per schedule. He said in the remaining parts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, half of the students would keep attending classes daily. He said the provincial governments would keep reviewing the situation, and if it worsened, a closure of schools would be necessary. The situation will be constantly reviewed, the minister said, adding that the education sector had a direct effect on the spread of the coronavirus. Therefore, it was necessary to take such decisions. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Faisal Sultan said hospitals were being burdened due to increase in cases. We have decided to continue enforcing SOPs and imposing smart lockdowns and micro smart lockdowns on the basis of disease pre- um, prevalence hotspots, while implementation of the 50% work from home policy will be at the discretion of the federating units. However, it will be enforced in Islamabad with the immediate effect. Time limit of 10 p.m. on all commercial activities will be reinforced with immediate effect. However, it will be only for less essential services. Amusement parks across the country will be closed at 6 p.m. Earlier decision of allowing indoor wedding, indoor dining, and opening of cinemas and shrines with effect from March 15 has been withdrawn, he said. However, outdoor dining takeaway will continue to remain open. As per previous practice, outdoor gatherings will remain limited to a maximum of 300 individuals with strict enforcement of COVID 19 SOPs. Review of all enforced NPIs will be carried out on April 12, he added. Dr. Sultan said the federating units were at liberty to impose strict NPIs in selected cities, districts, keeping in view the local disease trend spread. He also said vaccination of senior citizens had started across the country. Meanwhile, the NCOC data showed that 1,786 people had contracted the virus and 43 lost their lives in a single day as the number of active cases was recorded at 16,699. 15 million people infected in Pakistan. The IPSOS, a market research and consulting firm, has claimed that as many as 15 million people in Pakistan have been infected by the deadly coronavirus, COVID 19 virus. Um, the firm conducts a study every month, and around 1,000 people across the country are interviewed through phone calls. In the latest study, three questions were asked from each participant if she had tested positive, not tested positive, and whether they had developed symptoms of COVID 19. The data showed that 4% of the participants, which means estimated 5.2 million people, considering the population, got themselves tested for the infection and were found positive. Around 7% participants, 9.2 million of the population, claimed that they had experienced symptoms but did not get tested. On the basis of the study, it has been claimed that around 15 million of the population has been infected by the virus. An official of the Ministry of National Health Services requesting not to be named, said a survey conducted with the support of the National Institute of Health also showed similar research, as antibodies had developed in over 10% of the people. However, we do not agree that 5.2 million people had tested positive, as every lab has to report the positive case to the Federal Health Ministry. According to our data, around 600,000 people have been found infected in Pakistan, he said. Sindh Education Minister Said Ghani said the decisions taken by the NCOC on the closure of educational institutions for 15 days was in view of the increase in coronavirus patients in 7 cities of Punjab and Peshawar in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Addressing a press conference in Islamabad, Mr. Ghani said, no educational institutions are being closed in Sindh and Balochistan. Following consultation with the steering committee of the Sindh Education Department, we had already allowed 50% student attendance in our educational institutions from March 1, and we are working on it while taking care of all SOPs, he said. Monitoring has also been tightened. So far, 141 schools and 4 colleges in Sindh have been closed for the few days after emergence of coronavirus patients, he said, adding that if such a situation arose in more educational institutions, they would take action or close the institution for 15 days. Shazia Hassan in Karachi also contributed to this report. And in the end, the formal request, if you have not yet, please subscribe our channel and press the like and bell button to get the fresh from us. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time and goodbye.